Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the funniest night in search engine optimization tactics. And now, give it up for your host, Jason Six-Car Stum.
Hey everybody! Hi everybody! Oh my gosh. Stop, that is too much. Thank you. No, seriously, thank you though. I'm so excited to be here today. And I'm excited that you're here too. But first things first, I want to set the record straight. It's 8-car stum, okay? Those 2 extra cars matter, especially for my ego, if not for my wallet. But speaking of cars, I'm actually in the market to buy a car right now. You see, turns out if you miss one measly payment with your Tesla, it drives itself back to the factory. But seriously, so I'm at the dealership and this Lamborghini really caught my eye. And I said to myself, you know what, Jason? I'm going to do this. I'm really going to do it. As soon as I get my paycheck, I'll be able to afford taking an Uber back to see the car again. But I've been at this for weeks. I'm telling you, weeks. I've been going from dealer to dealer, just trying to find the right car. And finally, I find one that I like. And the salesperson says to me, Jason, you know, you got a pretty big family. What about cargo space? I looked at him and I said, Jimmy, car no do that. Cargo road. And yeah, they kicked me out of the dealership and I still don't have a car. All right. That's it. I think you heard enough from me. So it's a good thing here. We've got an open mic right now for our SEO stand-up specialists who are backstage waiting to answer your questions about why the SEO world sometimes just doesn't make all that much sense. And I'm going to need a hand here hosting this gig. So put yours together for a couple of DI's finest and funniest. It's lead strategist, taller Connor Bonham, and SEO training and development manager, the killer bee himself, Birkenstocks, Bert Burosek. Connor, Bert, it's great to have you here at the Inspire Plus Comedy Castle today. Before we just dive right in, Connor, can you tell our audience what to expect during this very special streaming event?
Well, it's great to be here, Jason. As you sure know, the SEO team at DI is stacked with subject matter experts. So we decided to gather them all together and let them take center stage to answer dealers' questions about SEO.
Okay, but it's going to be funny though, right, Connor?
I mean, I think some of them are going to be funny.
Yeah, and observational humor is classic.
Well, you know what? I can't argue that. But before we get going, just a couple notes from the house. We received like a ton of questions from our dealer audience that covered a lot of the same ground. So we consolidated those questions for clarity. And while we strongly discourage heckling, unless it's directed at me, you can definitely ask your own SEO questions in the chat while their stand-ups are on stage, and either someone will answer them in the chat, or if there's time, we'll address them at the end of the show. Otherwise, we'll connect with you after the show to personally provide the A's to your Q's. And you know what? I know our SEOs are anxious just to like take the stage, so let's get right to it. Connor, who's up first?
Let's start with one of my favorite SEO specialists. And when he's not training his dogs for scent detection competitions, he's sniffing out tactical SEO advantages for his clients all the way from Plainfield, Illinois. Let's give it up for Vince Griff.
Thank you for having me. I would say I'm happy to be here, but it's work, you know. I kid.
Okay, Vince, a member of the audience wants to know what causes the big dips and peaks of organic traffic over very short periods of time.
So great question. Peaks and valleys in SEO performance is completely normal. And we do performance checks on every account monthly as part of every SEO package. So when we see a valley in SEO performance, we definitely want to take a look into what's causing that. So some of the causes could be a competitor sliding in through that 1 through 3 spot, taking away some of our keywords, or just some keywords falling off in that 1 through 3 spot, similar to like anything with a high volume. Featured snippets falling off, which is common, or something as simple as a catastrophic event in the area. Similar to like a hurricane or a tornado. For spikes in performance, it's almost the exact opposite. We either acquired keywords in the 1 through 3 spot, a high authoritative site linking back to us, driving a lot of traffic, or maybe a holiday is on that month, driving a lot more traffic to the site. But as SEO professionals, we have to identify this, see if we need to jump in with an enhancement or planning a piece in its place, similar to like a 2021 model specific piece not doing so well, we plan a 2022 model specific piece into place.
So let me ask you this, Vince. It sounds like, these peaks and valleys, pretty normal in the world of SEO, but when should a dealer like become concerned about consistent like dips being a trend?
So month-to-month fluctuations are completely normal, and something that we keep an eye on. If it's month over month that you're seeing consistent dips to a certain page or site-wide, that's something to be concerned about. But that's something that we're keeping an eye on every site. So if we do see that, we're already on top of it, and we already usually have a plan in place.
That makes sense to me. And thank you, Vince. I am smelling a great feature in SEO ahead of you. We got to keep this show rolling. Bert, who do we have next?
All right, next up we have Amber McAfee from Phoenix, Arizona, who will build you a new set of kitchen cabinets with the same depth and skill that she'll build your content strategy.
Thank you for having me here. Very excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, Amber, the people want to know, what's the deal with Google just sending out these emails about issues with their mobile site?
Yeah, so that can be really annoying. We see that from time to time. A lot of the time we see maybe like the sitemap URL is getting flagged as being mobile unfriendly, and it can be concerning. The easiest way to check and see if your site is still mobile friendly is to go to the Google Search Console, and there is actually a mobile test friendly site that you can run your URL through. You want to make sure that you're running the correct URL through the site. So if it's your home page, if it's a service page, whatever URL it is, you want to run it through that test site. You can run it through a couple of times to make sure that it's working, but most of the time it's always going to come back that it's still mobile friendly. Now, if it's not, that's where we would step in and we would help, whether the dealer wanted to put in a help ticket, reach out to their SEO specialist or their performance manager. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. And we can go in and we can see, is it an image? Is it a banner? Is it a widget? What is it that's making this to not test mobile friendly? That's our job. We fix it and everyone gets on with their day, selling cars, helping shoppers.
Wow, Amber, you really dialed it in there. Dialed it in, get it? Because the question was about mobile, dialed it. Okay, never mind. I thought it was funny. Anyway, moving on. Connor, save me for myself. Who is coming on next?
For sure. Still chasing her childhood dream of becoming a hot dog maker right down the road in Lamont, Illinois, it's the legendary Kristen Bozich.
Hey, guys.
Kristen, one of our clients wrote in to ask, how do you balance the SEO needs of competitive dealerships in the same geographical area? Aren't you fighting for the same keywords?
That's a great question. And we honestly see that question a lot when dealers sign up. And the answer is yes and no. You're obviously always going to play tug of war with keywords, especially in your local area, but also nationally. So especially those branded keywords, example, Honda service, Honda lease offers, Honda dealership. Those are all branded keywords. Of course, you're going to tug of war with them. So then we go after the not branded keywords and we put those into our strategy as well. We also have such a huge department at Dealer Inspire that we never have the same team working on a competitor's site. So if I'm working on Connor Automotive, I will not be working on Jason Automotive that's next door. Another team will. And even though we collaborate as a department, we all still have our own strategy that doesn't interpass each other. Just like Vince said, there's going to be dips and spikes, and a competitor can come in for those keywords and we'll counteract to go get them back.
Well, that was a great answer, Kristen, but I feel like we missed a big opportunity to ask you even a more important question. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
Yes, the answer is yes. We already
Yes.
know the
No.
answer is yes.
Okay, you got
No.
so wrong. Yeah, Kristen's right. Everyone else is wrong.
No, I can't.
I'm going to trust the expert, not you two knuckleheads. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much, Kristen. Really appreciate you
Thanks,
taking the
guys.
Inspire Plus stage. Enjoy the rest of the show. Anyway, Bert, who do we have next?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, about to take the stage is a person who knows almost as much about fish and aquariums as he does about SEO. Let's get those hands together for Naperville's fishiest son, Casey Kornstrom.
Hey, everybody. Let's get our feet wet.
All right, Casey, I know this is a comedy show, but this is a serious question, so no messing around. Someone wants to know, what data does DI have that demonstrates the quality of organic traffic to their client sites?
That's a great question. So in our field, quality organic traffic can be a bit of a subjective term. One client may view site traffic as a priority where others want to see high levels of conversions. When we pull our data for our client reports, we present metrics over a period of time to show growth or to identify areas of improvement. In the past, we typically presented month-over-month data, but we found that analyzing data quarter-over-quarter or year-over-year usually paints a clearer picture. And since we are so high funnel focused, we often find ourselves reporting on a lot of keyword and session data, which may not always seem impressive compared to like high conversion rates. However, SEO content leads to more conversions than you may initially think. While we are often happy to see increased visibility and traffic to the content that we create for our clients, they're often curious about how answering a user's question or just providing model information leads to a conversion. And while our organic pages do directly lead to conversions through CTAs and internal links, it's important to note that it's difficult to ensure a direct conversion. While it may appear that our content has a lower direct conversion rate than something like paid search, more often than not, our content assists in making conversions in other areas of the site. We refer to these as assisted conversions, and they are the result of a user discovering the site through organic avenues, leaving, and then coming back. Another thing we like to keep track of is user experience. So that'll be things like bounce rates, average session duration, pages per session, things that we don't always report on, but they're really strong indicators on how healthy our content is and how well it's performing for us. Another area I like to focus in on is local traffic data. So drilling down to your state level or looking at things like your Google business profile to see how you're growing year over year for your immediate customer base. And while we use Prism to report on a lot of our stuff as our standard, we're more than happy to accommodate to show different data ranges, different types of data, things like that our customers want to see. We don't believe in cookie cutter content, and our reporting shouldn't be cookie cutter either.
Well, there's nothing fishy about that answer, Casey. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you taking the stage today to share that knowledge. Moving right along, Connor, who's about to take the stage now?
Getting ready to make his Inspire Plus debut all the way down in Plano, Texas. Let's welcome Jose Rodas to the Inspire Plus stage.
Hey, Connor.
Hey, Jose. I'll DoorDash you a car full of your favorite dark chocolate bars if you can answer this dealer's question. What's the deal with overworded websites trying to hack the system? Why is this still a thing?
Yeah, so that's called keyword stuffing. And unfortunately, it's still a strategy that's largely in use by some. An example of this would be someone trying to target every city in their state. So the H1 of a page would be new Toyota for sale in Plainville, Naperville, Aurora, Yorkville, Lockport, West Chicago, Downers Grove, and it keeps going. The old theory is that the more cities that you're throwing in, the better coverage that your page is going to have in those cities, but that's just not true anymore. Thanks to updates like the BERT algorithm, which aim to improve language understanding, particularly natural language and conversational queries, Google understands what users are looking for when they search. So Google is looking to provide the best answer. Our theory is that when it comes to content creation and keyword targeting, we need to provide the highest quality answer while using keyword and semantic matches of that keyword throughout the content. This ensures that we are answering the questions for users while also gently reminding search engines of the keywords that we're targeting. In my experience, every time that I've worked with a site that had a client asking about doing keyword stuffing, or one that we saw that it had it on the site previously, the site owner was unaware that this wasn't in the best practice and was unaware that this was even a bad thing. The great thing about working with Dealer Inspire is we keep up with the best practices for SEO and the Google guideline updates so that you don't have to.
Jose, I have one follow-up question. The BERT algorithm update wasn't actually named after our very own BERT, right?
It actually was not.
Thank you.
Well, forget keyword stuffing, everybody. I'd rather stuff my face with a bunch of those dark chocolate bars. But now is not the time to eat my feelings because Bert, someone is just dying to dish about SEO. Who's on next?
All right. Well, you've seen her talk organic strategy and Electron Future EV Legacy right here on Inspire Plus. So please give an electrifying round of applause to Lisle, Illinois' resident EV expert, Anna Tan.
Happy to be here, you guys.
Awesome. Well, okay, Anna, quite a few dealers asked this question, so no pressure here. They want to know, why can't my dealership rank for these broad OEM keywords?
Yeah, no, that's a very valid question. And it's certainly an ambitious goal for any dealership, right? When it's achieved, you feel like a god because you're achieving something very, very difficult. And honestly, there's a reason it's hard, but it doesn't have to be. So there are three things that I like to keep an eye on when it comes to those OEM broad keywords. The first one is key brand authority. Obviously, for OEMs like Toyota, they have a Toyota URL. They're the first ones to talk about Toyota content because the OEM has to come into creation before the dealership. They're talking about Toyota topics all day, every day. They are the OG source for Toyota content. So first, you've got that going on. And the second thing you've got going on is keyword difficulty. So this is the competitive field of all of the people who want to provide content and answers on a specific topic. Toyota for sale is going to be wanting to rank for that across every single Toyota dealership because that's the goal of a dealership, is to sell cars, right? So you're dealing with that. And then the third one, so it's kind of like this triage of information, is high search volume. A lot of people are looking for cars for sale. And especially if you're targeting your brands properly, there are a lot of people out there wanting to buy Toyotas, CDJR, Ram trucks, all of that stuff. So you've got those three areas that Toyota is performing really, really well on. These three factors are so important. And Google is smart enough to know that, hey, the information is originally coming from Toyota. They're the OG source. They're going to have authority. Let's put them at the top of the SERPs. So when it comes to ranking for those original broad OEM keywords, where do you even start? How do you get there? And the goal is to start with the small fish. Honestly, you don't want to go in first thing and say, I'm going to rank on page 1 in position 1 or 2 for Toyota cars for sale. It's just a very ambitious goal, but you're not quite going to get there. It's going to take you a while. So start small, start with keyword difficulty below, ideally 30, 40. You can use tools like SEMrush or Moz, which will help provide a lot of that information to you. And then those golden nuggets are going to be low keyword difficulty topics with high search volume. We've had a lot of luck with topics like Toyota Corolla maintenance codes. It's not quite the traffic for Toyota Corolla for sale, but it's a piece of topic talking about Toyota Corollas. A lot of people are searching for it. And at the time that we'd written that piece, there weren't a lot of people writing about it. So it's a really quality piece, something that people are looking for, and it's not super competitive. Those are the small fish and those golden nuggets that you really want to target first. And then once you start to build authority there, Google's going to start to recognize, oh, hey, this dealer is talking about Toyota Corolla topics. They're going to be a original content provider for Toyota Corolla information. They're an authority figure. And it's really going to be a long-term strategy. And when I say long-term strategy, I'm talking a couple of years at the least. You want to be consistent, target the smaller fish, working your way to a bigger fish. It's kind of like that shark game where you're eating the smaller fish and you grow bigger and bigger. It's really fun, but this is the strategy for SEO. And honestly, you'll want to pursue it that way because that's what's going to make you successful. And if you're willing to be patient with it and target those topics the way we do with our SEO strategy, you're going to be gold and you'll get there eventually.
Well, I am always charged up, Anna, after hearing you break down SEO. Thank you so much for being here today. And we've got to keep the show rolling. Connor, who's next?
So unfortunately, one of our SEOs got lost on the way to the Inspire Plus Comedy Castle. I guess that's what you get for using Apple Maps. Am I right? So we have a question about buying domains and redirecting them to your primary website, but I don't know if we have anyone to answer that one.
Connor, Stum, guys, step aside. Okay, I got this. I can answer this question. All right. So no, let's just start off and say no. We don't need to buy new domains to redirect them to our website. It's kind of, everyone just thinks this is so cool and people are going to be searching for these vanity URLs. They're not. It's not a thing that you need to do. And why would you spend your money buying these domains if they don't have any authority? So that's not to say there isn't some truth to this. If you already have a domain and you now have a new domain you want everything to go through, yes, you will redirect those to that new domain. You want to pass that authority on, but don't go buying every variation and misspelled version of your URL to redirect it. No one's going to be typing that in. It's never had any authority. It's never ranked for anything. Take that money, invest it in something fun, like a nice SEO package for your website. It'll be definitely more beneficial than having these old, non-valuable URLs redirecting to your site. Come on, guys.
Geez, Bert, tell us how you really feel. Okay. All right, Bert, why don't you take 5? Calm down for a second. Connor, let's just keep the show on the road. Who's going to save us all right now?
Well, we've got a real talent here. Before she made her Inspire Plus debut on You've Got Pre-Orders, she almost landed a gig to act in a Bubbles commercial in LA when she was just a kid. Give it up for the extraordinary Kayla Chambers.
Hello there. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Kayla. So inquiring dealer minds want to know, should they have content on their website that references other competitive models?
Yeah, so this is a fabulous question. So it's important to note that SEO is more about tapping into and targeting existing markets. When we plan content, we utilize various keyword research tools to identify what users are searching for to ensure we create content that taps into those existing markets or highly searched topics, as we ultimately aim to assist our dealer sites in becoming visible in those searches. So while it may seem silly to write about a comparison topic like the Toyota Camry versus Honda Accord, if we look at all the factors, it will make sense. For one, there is a reliable amount of monthly searches tied to this comparison that will drive traffic from users who hold a which car is best intent behind their searches. And this type of informational high funnel topic will also help in getting your site in front of your target audience, those being obviously individuals who are in the market for a car, are researching vehicle information, trying to decide which car to buy, what have you. So specific model feature content is a great way to target those higher funnel shoppers and provide opportunity for us to build your buying pipeline, capture their interest, and have them engage with your site to bring more visibility and awareness to your site ahead of those competitors. This can also help with building trust with your local community, since you are providing that valuable information around a specific model ahead of that competitor model. And additionally, this type of high funnel informational model feature content can also help in other ways. For example, users may enter your site through a Toyota Camry versus Honda Accord comparison, but may continue their session on your site by then navigating to your new or used vehicles VRP. So model feature content can essentially help in driving more users to those core pages that we want shoppers browsing and converting on as well. Also important to note here, the overall goal of search engines. Search engines like Google ultimately want users to prioritize using their search engine over others. To ensure that continues, Google wants to serve up relevant quality content to users that is answering or fulfilling their questions, and as well the intent behind the user's search. So when we regularly craft content for sites in alignment with relevancy, quality, and tapping into what users are searching for, which includes model feature content or that comparison, we raise your site's credibility also in Google's eyes, and Google will be more willing to serve up your trusted site across the board, as Google will begin to take note of the value that your site offers to those using its search engine.
Well, hey, Kayla, I have a totally unrelated follow-up question. I'm dying to know, who's more competitive, car dealerships or kid actors trying to land the same commercial?
You know, I don't know. Probably the kid actors. You know, kids are ruthless. So.
There it is. Well, thank you, Kayla, so much for being here. Big round of applause, everybody, for Kayla. Woohoo! Bert, you back? You better?
I'm feeling a little bit better.
You're feeling a little better. Good. All right. So, calmly, can you tell us who are we going to meet next?
Next up is a Plainfield, Illinois resident who likes to crochet so much she even named her dog Shay after it. And that's not a joke, that's real. So let's give it up for the one, the only Dora Griff.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Okay, Dora. Can we explore whether or not dealers should have their city and state name in their URL slugs?
Sure, that is a really good question. So we want to make sure to follow Google's best practices when picking slugs, and we want to keep them as simple as possible. The goal is to focus on the keyword and content of the page when creating them. This will ensure that Google and the user know exactly what to expect from the content. Including a city and state in each page slug would appear very spammy and cause confusion to users and Google. In order to localize the content and target certain areas, we do this by including target cities and or states naturally within the actual page content and in the meta title and meta description instead. Also, when we're focusing on building additional local authority, we create customized local strategies where we create content targeted towards local topics and keywords. So one example of this would be creating a piece on like best road trips in Target City, or any other local topics really that just apply to that particular area.
So follow-up question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, Dora. If you were talking to a new client or a potential new client and they already had city and state in their URL slugs, would your team recommend removing them, or are they safe just to leave them as is, knowing the best practices going forward?
So I would say based on the performance of those pages, we would keep them as is, but going forward, then we would just continue to follow Google's best practices and keep them simple and not include those target cities.
Well, there you go. Thanks for that, Dora. Thanks for taking us on that exciting local adventure. Connor, who are we going to meet next?
For this one, we're going to go down to sunny Florida. Not only has she seen all of the Harry Potter movies 1,000 times, but she's quite the SEO wizard herself. Come on, Muggles, give it up for Taylor Schaefer.
Hi, everyone.
Taylor, this question is about as tricky as Fred and George Weasley after too many butterbeers. But our dealers want to know more about backlinks. How do they get them, and should they buy them with money?
Questions about backlink strategies are common since it is still considered one of Google's many ranking factors. We have found the best way to incorporate backlink into strategy is to make it as organic as possible, since Google prioritizes quality over quantity. Some strategies we utilize are creating good content that businesses are going to link back to naturally. This also involves building or leveraging relationships you have with other businesses in your area. Some other things we do is make sure your business is present on popular directories and also remove toxic backlinks. So firstly, in terms of content creating, we often create content around hyper-local search queries that people are searching for frequently. Things like top restaurants in Chicago or things to do in Naperville. These are topics that will give you the most visibility in the search results, give you the best opportunity to link to reputable businesses in those areas, and in return, create an opportunity for those businesses to link back to you as well. Through content creation, we can also leverage existing relationships you have in the community. So it's always important to make sure your SEO specialist is aware of any events you're involved in, whether that be sponsoring a car show or partnering with a charity. We can create really good landing pages to put up on the site that will not only increase your brand awareness, but once again, give you the opportunity to link to businesses that will most likely link out to you since you already have a relationship with them and outreach is a lot easier. The second thing we do is maintain important directories. So directories like Yelp and AutoTrader are important since they link back to your site and they have really high authority, right? So lots of people are finding businesses through these sites. So we check to make sure that A, your business is present on these directories, and B, all your information is consistent and correct. Consistency is very important with Google. So there's about a dozen that we manually check, but we also utilize Moz local tools to push out your business's information to various other listings. Lastly, we do have backlink audits available for one of our package levels. So again, we utilize a paid tool provided by SEMrush to look into your backlink profile and see if there's any existing links harming your domain authority. So like I mentioned earlier, quality over quantity, right? It's just as important to make sure you remove toxic backlinks as it is to acquire new ones. So we can use that audit to disavow those links and have them removed. So yeah, that's how the Dealer Inspire SEO team helps our clients with backlinks.
And remember, kids, if somebody shows up at your dealership promising to wave their wand and magic up a Hogwarts Express full of backlinks, they're probably practicing the dark arts of SEO, right, Taylor?
That's right.
Got to be careful. Thank you so much for being here. We are closing out towards the end of the show. So Bert, who do we have on next?
Our next SEO stand-up comes to us from Bolingbrook, Illinois, and she once spent 3 months in college interviewing and taking a picture of every single person who sat at a specific cafe table for a school project. It's that kind of dedication to art that makes for a great quality in an SEO. Inspire Plus audience, please welcome Bernadette Manala.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
Okay, Bernadette, this is a question we got a lot. People want to know, how does one get the dealership's phone number to stop changing all the time on their Google business profile?
So the first thing that we want to look at is why might this be happening? So is it that crazy dealership next door that's going in and messing with your listing? Or maybe it's an old ex that wants to indirectly reach out to you by putting their phone number in your listing. So the case, most likely this is not the case. And the reason why this might be happening is that Google may be finding conflicting information about your phone number elsewhere on sites such as Yelp, Yellow Pages, or Facebook, thus causing your number to constantly change because they are not seeing a consistent phone number listed. Someone may also be suggesting edits to your Google Business profile, which we will flag to you if we ever come across such an issue. So what should you do? So to fix this, always make sure that the phone number across all your listings are as accurate and consistent as possible. And then if you utilize tools such as Moz Local or Yext, make sure that the information there reflects the same consistent phone number as well. This will hopefully stop Google from automatically updating and changing your phone number on your Google Business profile. And as part of our expert DI SEO services, our team does monthly Google Business profile reviews to make sure that the information there is displayed is as accurate as possible. So that's all for me. Thank you, everyone.
Well, that's awesome, Bernadette. And based on Bert's intro, I thought that answer was going to take 3 months to get out, but boom, there it is, right to the point. Thank you so much for being here. All right, we're getting down to the last couple questions here. Connor, who do we have next?
Well, it was supposed to be Inspire Plus alum Jess Jordan, but she is not feeling very well today. So I guess, I don't know, maybe I can answer the question. Bert, set me up.
Seriously, you're gonna make me do this? Fine. Ladies and gentlemen, from Plainfield, Illinois, he's taller, smarter, and has more friends than Bert. The incomparable Connor Bonham.
Thank you. Didn't write that myself. That was definitely written by Bert.
Okay, Connor, if that's your real name. We have a dealer who wants to know, what are the SEO best practices for two same name OEMs in the same automotive group located within driving distance of each other?
That is a great question. So let's pretend that you have two Connors VW locations very close to each other. It's going to be really important to utilize the dealership's location city in your meta, in your H1 for all of your core pages, also as well as your Google Business Profile listings. So for example, we'd want to do Connors VW in West Loop and Connors VW in Bucktown. Those are both signals that's going to allow search engines to differentiate the locations for each ranking. It's also going to be really important to focus on local and not national keyword rankings and keyword rankings that matter the most. So this is really important to understand that certain SEO reporting methods and tools will actually pull in nationwide keyword rankings that include your brand name. You'll always see really volatile fluctuations for keywords such as Connors VW, if we go back to the Connor VW example, where at any point one store is going to outrank the other for that search query, and it'll probably flip-flop pretty much every single day. You want to ensure that both stores are ranking well for branded keywords, but the competition for branded keywords will always be a power struggle between the two stores. Both stores can't be in position one for Connors VW, so don't over stress about those fluctuations. Focus more on localized keywords, broad OEM keywords, that a lot of those specific model topics that we've talked about, to truly help identify which keywords you need to be focusing on in a strategy without getting caught up on keyword fluctuations that will be super common. So make sure that you're just including that, target city information that we talked about naturally within the content, and don't get so caught up on the flip-flopping between the super branded dealership name terms.
Well, that makes sense to me. And you know what, say what you want about Connor and how tall he is, but he really knows his stuff. So 2 questions ago, Connor, let's give you a minute to catch your breath. So Bert, who is our penultimate SEO stand-up?
All right. Well, she's been waiting patiently to take the stage this whole time. And while you might think she's Irish based on her name, she's not. Please, everyone, let's welcome Dayton, Ohio's own Ireland Bender.
Hello, hello. What's up, everyone?
Right. Well, it's time to get technical. Ireland, we have a dealer who wants to know if a sitemap, their XML sitemap, should be added to a robot.txt file. What do you say here?
Yeah, so while this used to be a go-to SEO tactic, it's not necessary anymore. So adding the sitemaps XML to the robots.txt file was used to assist search engine crawlers in identifying the source of all new and active links on the site. So now, thanks to how frequently Google crawls the site, along with tools such as Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster, it's typically not needed. Sitemaps are submitted to search engines through these tools and are monitored to give us a live look at the last time they were crawled. However, if you're still interested in adding your sitemap to the robots.txt file, there are no negative impacts in adding it. We can definitely contact our support team to take care of it quickly, although it's not something we recommend here on the SEO team. At DI, the SEO team utilizes a hub page strategy to help your pages get indexed faster, along with creating an XML sitemap. Both of these processes accomplish what most people try to achieve by using this old tactic. Let me quickly break it down for you guys. So the robots.txt file acts as guard dogs to your site. They're basically telling Google where they're allowed to crawl and go on your site. When we add a page to our the DI hub pages, it tells Google that the content is associated with that hub page topic and helps not only index those pages faster, but it also helps us establish authority. So as a result, you're able to show up in the top of the search results for more relevant searches in your specific area. So overall, there's no need to add your sitemap to your robots.txt file with Google's frequent crawls and our team's hub pages here at DI.
Well, that is a question and answer that I would never disallow. So thank you for covering it, Ireland. I really appreciate you being here. Connor, we made it to I think it's the last question. I don't know. Who's going to help take it home today?
Well, last and certainly not least, we're going east just outside of Albany, New York. Meet Riley Vega, who happens to have a playlist of songs that her chihuahua will sing to, videos, or it doesn't happen. Put those hands together one last time.
Thanks for saving the best for last.
Thanks for being here, Riley. So let's close this out strong, Riley. The question is, with changes in shopping behavior, how can smaller groups build local authority to capture user intent?
We've all seen larger corporations now have a stake in the game like Carvana and others. While services like these are convenient, especially with the ongoing shortage of vehicles, it can seem bleak for smaller automotive groups. This very reason is one of the main reasons I love SEO, especially in the automotive industry in such vehicle-reliant countries like the USA and Canada. Because SEO is a great way for smaller groups to build prosperity, especially in their local markets. While we curate SEO strategy that ultimately depends on that specific dealership and the local market, the most basic steps are going to be creating and maintaining a Google business profile, having a content strategy, and keeping that consumer experience as curated and as friendly as possible. For GMB, or now GBP management, this profile is going to be what will appear in that local pack for a dealership near whatever metro you're in, or make in rural county, like Ford in Albany County, whatever it may be. When we maintain that profile by having the proper information, think like correct hours, correct departments housed under that sales profile, correct site links with tracking codes on them, by using the free UTM generator tool, updated descriptions, updated amenities, updated photos and videos, along with utilizing the post feature to display any current events and offers. That's the first step I would take. And then I would save those offers and that content in regards to like the description, the photos and videos, and then repurpose them onto the site and other organic social media posts, whether that's like Facebook or Instagram, wherever that main platform is for that dealership. For a content strategy that's easily maintainable at the dealership level, think about the top questions your customers are coming in to ask about those specific models, and then answer those questions in blog posts. That's something that our team does, and I think that we do it really well. So that way those customers are actually staying on the site and then they end up converting. This can also translate into keeping that consumer experience as curated and as friendly as possible. A big part of SEO is organic conversions, or getting that customer journey started to get your customers into the car that's right for them. A part of this is having the information on your site that customers are searching for. When we create content, we want to guide people to submitting those forms and leading them to the VRPs to find their next vehicle. What's also important here, especially for smaller automotive groups, aside from SEO, is what happens after that lead is submitted. If it's going to the CRM, does the platform you're using have the right parsing address or the right address to make sure that that lead goes into the CRM? And then is that lead properly identified so your sales team can follow up and talk to that person appropriately? If you have messaging on your Google business profile, is your internet or BDC team trained to handle that? Same with any third-party tools or chat providers. Having that goal and that journey in mind is key to having a strong local SEO strategy and competing with those larger corporations in a tight market, whether you're in a large metropolitan area, a suburb, or a rural area.
Well, thank you so much for that, Riley. And oh, wait, hold on. Wait a second. Stage manager is telling me we got one more question. Bert, you want to tackle this one?
I mean, I guess if I have to, I will.
You kind of do. I mean, I could ask Connor, but I just thought I'd give you the chance. Anyway, so we have a dealer that wants to know, when adding lengthy text content to sections of web pages, does collapsing the text lessen the value or ability to generate organic results of the text content hidden from view?
You just like to give me questions today that the answer is no. So essentially, Google has come out and said that when a site is properly set up with these collapsible functionalities in order to provide a good user experience where you're not so cluttered with text, but they are properly nested into an accordion-like feature, they can still very easily read that, index it, and find the valuable information that's in there. It's essentially content on the page that is viewable by any user and easily accessible. That is not to say that you can mask this content on the page by putting hidden words over same colored backgrounds. That is not what we are saying here. This is specifically addressing that content that's hidden in those accordions or maybe below the fold that people tend to think that doesn't have that same exact value. Google can still very much read that. It can still very much index that, and it still very much gives the value to the page that you are trying to attribute. Simple as that, Jason.
Simple as that, Bert, and thank you so much. And hey, look at that, everybody. We are right up against it for time. So everybody, get on your feet and let's give it up one last time for each and every one of the SEO stand-ups to appear on stage today. Vince, Amber, Kristen, Casey, Jose, Anna, Kayla, Dora, Taylor, Bernadette, Island, Riley. Thank you all so much for being here today. You are SEO rock stars through and through, and our clients are extremely lucky to have partners like you helping them improve their organic search presence month in and month out. All right. And also a big thanks to Connor and Bert for co-hosting the show with me today. I literally could not have done it without you two. So thanks, fellas. You are the best. And then lastly, thank you for making the time to join us here today for the premiere of What's the Deal with SEO. We do hope you learned a thing or three about search engine optimization, because it can be challenging, but as you learned, it can also be hilarious. If you missed the live premiere of the show and you're watching this on demand and have SEO questions that you want answered, don't sweat it. You can simply email them to seoquestions@dealerinspire.com, and Connor and Bert will get those emails. They will literally get those emails, and they or someone from the team will connect with you with A to your queue. And that's going to do it today, everyone. So for everybody here at Dealer Inspire and here on Inspire Plus, thank you. You don't have to go back to work. Can't stay here. Actually, you know what? You could stay here because there's a ton of great content on Inspire Plus. So stick around and get your binge on, everybody. Good night. Talk to you soon.